to this 9th session of the Teach From Where webinar series brought to you by Google and its different education partner. This has been an exciting couple of weeks, bringing together educators and teachers from across Africa to share some of their exciting experiences and tools that they've been able to share, how they've leveraged different kinds of tools and applications in their learning environment and with their educators in their classroom. We've had different speakers and teachers from different countries, and today is no different. As I said, the Teach From Anywhere webinar is brought to you by Google for Education team and its Google education partners across Africa that include MKD Consulting from Nigeria, Power IT Solutions from Nairobi, Kenya, and Cloud EDU from South Africa. And today's topic is a very exciting and very, very, very interesting way to go. We will be talking about a very interesting topic that is called student engagement through gamification and visual learning. We all love to learn by playing and seeing things as it be. And we have 3 exciting speakers and educators with the wide experience will be sharing some of the tools and applications they've leveraged to support their learners and keep them engaged in their classroom environment. To start us off, we have Irene Kiwaga from Nairobi, Kenya, who is the founder of Maple Online School. She'll be walking us through the leveraging of a Kahoot gaming application and how she's been able to engage and keep our students interacting through a very gamified and interactive way. Irene is the founder of the Maple School. She has over 18 experiences in teaching the British National Curriculum and has worked as a key stage coordinator. She has a master's degree in early childhood and is an education technologist who works to empower teachers and learners leverage and integrate Google products in their teaching and work organization. She's a member of the GEG group in Nairobi and has participated in empowering teachers using Google tools in her school. She is currently working towards a Google Level 1 education certification. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Ms. Irene Kiwaga to walk us through this exciting journey. Irene, welcome. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm here to share my experience. I've been using Kahoot in my class. I've used it as lessons, live lessons, and as homework. So gaming has become part and parcel of teaching today because it helps teachers to personalize activities, give feedback immediately, which is very important, differentiate activities, motivate children, help them to work in group settings, and also communicate and collaborate with other teachers. So today I will show you how to prepare a Kahoot for virtual learning and student engagement, and also how to integrate the Kahoot in the classroom and to assign it as homework in the Google Classroom. So with me here, I have embedded my voice about the lesson we're going to teach. We're going to learn today. So we'll be learning about recognizing types of sentences.
Is a sentence that tells you a fact, opinion, or idea. For example, a rainbow has 7 colors. A question is a sentence that asks you something. It ends with a question. What is
Irene, as we go along, as we listen to your instructions for the Kahoot, I think your sound recording is a bit off. I think you could just please read it out, the instructions, as before we go to the next game.
Okay, so having learned the different types of sentences, my students are ready to play the Kahoots. So the game pin is up. So we are ready. My students are ready to practice what they have just learned, the different types of sentences, the instructions, the statements. Statement gives us information. A question starts with a question mark, a question word, and a command has a possessive verb. So, ready? My students are ready? We start. Remember, speed and accuracy is of importance when you're playing this game. You choose the correct answer. As you can see, some of them did not answer in time, therefore they missed a mark. At this time, the learners are very excited, seeing their names show up and receiving tokens. At the end of the game, there's a podium that shows who was a winner. We have Monks to be number 3. Kevin got 4 out of 4, but because he was not as fast, he's number 2. And Lisa is a winner. Yay! And she is celebrated. And we have Aswani as a runners-up. Now, the beauty of Cohorts is that the teacher can actually embed this work in the classroom. How? The teacher will assign, sorry, let me show you, play. You click on play, then assign. The first option I chose for the lesson was teach, but now because I want it as homework, I would like the children who did not understand the lesson to practice it. And it is a self-paced type of learning. So when I click on assign, it allows me to embed or share the work in the classroom, in the Google Classroom. I can either copy the URL or I can click on the share button, on the Google Classroom share button. And the work will come to the classroom and the students will get to see the Kahoots. Not only that, after playing, I will be able to assess and see, did they understand the homework? I will get, in the classroom, I will get to see the score that each child got, and therefore I will be able to practice with them whatever it is that they did not understand. So that's about it, about Kahoot, playing and embedding it in the classroom. However, I have a slide that shows how to add it in to prepare a Kahoot.
Hi teachers, I'm showing you how. Hi teachers, I'm showing you how to make Kahoot. Teaching.
Once you're done, then you're ready to use the Kahoot. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Over to you, Oscar.
Thank you very much, Irene. Although we had some technical difficulties, I sure hope the integration within Kahoot and the classroom was quite exciting. And thank you very much for sharing how you've leveraged Kahoot to teach a complex thing as sentences. I just imagine Kahoot is one of those things we play when we are bored at work, or we are trying to pretend in the corporate world we are bonding and the likes. Very exciting to see it leveraged in a classroom where it rightfully, gets very exciting and the right way to engage the learners. Thank you very much. Next up, as I promised, we had very exciting list of speakers. Next up, we have a very exciting speaker. His name is Olabode Daudu from Nigeria. He is a physics and mathematics teacher in Bloomberg High School in Port Harcourt, Nigeria. And Mr. Olabode is a man full of energy, as we all know, typical of everybody in Nigeria, and it's energy and energy. I've listened to him deliver previous engagements, and I'm excited. So a little bit about Mr. Olabode. He's a Google Level 1 educator with over 2 years experience leveraging G Suite in the classroom. He has trained hundreds of educators in the best ways to incubate Google for Education in their daily skills. And today, Mr. Olabode will be introducing us to a very interesting application, which is called Quizzes. Mr. Olabode will show us how to leverage Quizzes to engage learners, obviously. And the most sweet spot I always say is teaching is one thing, but how you're able to keep the learners engaged, how you keep learners glued and actually wanting to come back to your class is a big plus for you as a teacher and even for the learners. And Quizzes and Mr. Olabode will definitely be showing how to do that and how to make the work easier for an educator as well by integrating Quizzes classrooms, Quizzes engagements within a Google Classroom environment as well. So without further ado, Mr. Olabode, I don't want to outshine you. I will hand it over to you, and very excited to hear what you're going to share with us today. Mr. Olabode, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Oscar, for that introduction. I'll be taking us through the use of quizzes in the classroom for gamification. Okay. This is what we'll be looking through this afternoon. How to use quizzes to engage students through gamification and visual learning. The use of quizzes in learning as a gaming tool for individual and team challenge. How to create and modify quizzes to suit student needs. How to integrate quizzes into Google Classroom and use it in form of homework and assessment. Okay, let's take them one after the other. The first one I'm going to show you is how to use quizzes in learning as a gaming tool for individual. But before that, let me just show you, we have two interfaces in quizzes environment. One, the teacher interface and the student interface. You can see a little difference between the teacher interface and the student interface. Let me show you the excitement and the energy you can bring into your classroom using the quizzes as a form of lighting up your class. Okay, I have one here, which I have a student already joining me here. Just want to show you how the excitement, you can see the passion, you can see the reason why students want to learn as they are playing game in your classroom. I have only one student, I have two students joining me here now. By the time, let me start with these two students now, you can see the competition spirit in being the first on the leaderboard. This background sound, the picture, all of them. I have three students here now with me here. The teacher can just stand as a referee here when the student is topping the leaderboard. Before you know it, they see the score, they see themselves leading the leaderboard, which is very, 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 very good in a classroom. You can see the wow means one question. The background noise is enough to make a child that's about to sleep wake up. You can stop the sound from playing from the teacher's side, where the students are still enjoying the sound with their quizzes there. You can say, I have another person joining. I have 4 students on the quizzes here now. You can see the leaderboard moving up, which creates a sort of competition, and students are playing at the same time trying to learn. You can see the leaderboard rotating according to the score. That is one of the beauty of quizzes when you integrate it into your classroom. Without much, let me go back to our slide. Now, how do you do this in a quizzes environment? As a teacher, let me go to the teacher dashboard or the interface. I'll just go to, I can search for questions using the search bar here, or I go to just look for under topic. I can just search. Let's say, for example, and I have questions already in my library. Okay, go to my library here. I have question here which I want to assign to my student. Input and output devices for computer. Now, I'm picking the question. Select the question you want to assign to your student. If you want them to play it as a competition, you start a live quiz. I click on live quiz. Here I have 2 options I can pick from. Either instructor piece, which you give the student the question one after the other. Once he's done with one, you give him the second one. In the process, you enjoy the game. Also, you monitor the progress of the child or the student in the class. Let's start with classic. In the classic, you are going to have 3 options. As a team, they can play as a team. You give them a teamwork, creating teamwork. Classic, so that students progress individually or as tests. So that's form of assessment in class. Let's go show you how to use classic. To use classic, what you do, you select, you can either play it directly or you embedded it just into Google Classroom. But to do that, maybe I just want them to play now, like what you just saw now doing. Just click on continue. From here, it goes live. You can see the code here, which you can share with your students. And there you see them coming up on the leaderboard, showing them and the competition, the excitement, seeing them want to top the leaderboard. Once they join your class, click on start. You can see them just trying to be the first on the leaderboard. That's how you use classic to give assignment or to put game into the classroom to excite your students to learn. If you want to use team, on the team side, let me show you how to use team, the team one. On a team, you're going to have several teams to pick from. Once you have your participant join. Once your participant joining you here, you see a lot of different teams which are going to belong to. At least you need minimum of 2 or 3 team before one team cannot start the game. Once you have 2 teams, you start the game. From here, you can see the participation, the collaboration between the students so that they can win, their team can win. Wow, when the students win, the team win, you see the wow, we won you, which is bringing just boredom can be erased from your classroom. Directly, I have a participant here, you can see team coming up. From here, once I have another, the team can start. I need one more, at least one more team so that they can start the game. Okay, that is how you use team in a class in quizzes to spice up your student learning. Okay, next, how do you now create quizzes? To suit the need of your student, to suit your topic. Maybe you have a lot of questions you have a lot of questions on quizzes environments that you can use in your classroom. Peradventure, you don't have the one that suits the topic, or the question you don't have one, because if you need, just click on Explore. From here, you can see question. Just pick on the question. You can say, let me say, I need noun. Type noun. You will see different questions from quizzes on noun popping up to you. From there, once you click on one, it shows you all the questions under it, which you can select from. If you don't get any one that suits your need, just go click on this button, Create. Once you click on Create Quizzes, from here you can design as many as you have, as you need. Let's say noun. I have noun. And I will select the subject. Now, we all know that noun is English. Next. From here, I can now pick the type of question I want. I either at multi-choice, check boxes, fill in a blank, or pull. But I'm going to use multi-choice as a demonstration here. I can pick any question I want. Let me see which of these is not a noun. From there, just let me select, and now you have to pick the option. The option, let me see, man, girl, boy, and then last, let me put E. I know E is not a boy, it is not a noun. Select, it gives the option. I can save here. I can insert picture, video, audio here. Once I'm done, I click on save. The question is already done. Now here, from here, once I can now increase more questions, I can add further questions by using different buttons I have here to increase the number of questions I need. From there, when you are done, just click on done. From there, you can now select the class category you want them to participate and accessibility, those who can see the game. I click on save. My question is ready to be used on this platform, which I can see work on. That is how to create question in quizzes. Okay, the next one, you can say maybe I have a question there I don't have time to create. How do I modify the existing question? Very simple. Just go there, like the question I had before. I want to change it. Go back to your teacher's dashboard or the interface, click on edit. From the edit button here, it's going to make a clone of the question you are selecting if it's not the one designed by you, so that you will not distort what the person has done there. From here, you can now click on edit. You select the option you want to, you can edit it and save it. It's automatically saved in your library then. Once you are done, again, click on done, which you can add more questions on different topics by clicking teleport. The existing question and quizzes, you can join it with this one so that you have more questions here. Click done. That is how you modify question. The next we'll be looking at is how do we now use quizzes in Google Classroom? How do you use quizzes in Google Classroom? In the form of homework and assessment so that the student can learn on their own. I have here also, you are going to use the next tab close to start a lab quiz, which is assign homework. Here, the student can go home. You can see the excitement in students. I don't want to do homework. It's not my problem. Once they know they are going to play game, it makes their work easy. Click on assign homework. You can put a due date. Put a due date, which I'm going to select. Just click on this date here. Select the due date. When you want the student, they will not have access to these quizzes again. And you select the classroom. Once you click on select here to assign to a class, it takes you, if you have not used Google Classroom with quizzes before, it takes you to synchronize your Google Classroom where you can import to quiz environment. It takes you there directly. And if you are creating another class, just manage the class. It brings in the remaining classes you want to. From here, drag down. You see all the classes where you are. Maybe where you're teaching or where you're co-teacher. You can select here. Let me select this class. From there, you can see I can now give it a title. And once I give it a title, I click on next. The next thing I'm going to do now is just click on assign. It goes to my classroom directly. Student can do it. Let me show you an example of the one I have in my classroom. This is my classroom. You can see quizzes are assigned. You can use any mobile device to access it, either mobile phone or computer, Chromebook, whatever device you're using. Once it's accessible on as a facility, it's going to access. And one other thing, quizzes help you to grade your student. You can see my student here. I don't need to stress myself looking for a grade for them. This is, you can see in the Google environment, these are performances of my student. Over here is fully integrated to Google Classroom, which makes the work of teachers very easy. Students also on their own can go to the environment here and play games. And here you can see their activity. The games are played. Teacher also can have student can also log in as students and play games on his own so that he can also learn. I believe with this, the excitement, the wow you see in your student to want to learn is very, very good, which I believe teachers should start using this in their classroom to make the work easier for them. With this now, I'll be handing over back to Oscar. Thank you, Oscar.
Wow, Mr. Olabode, a physics teacher. I know I was good in physics when I was in high school many years ago, but you know, if I had a teacher and who would be able to integrate very exciting ideas like this, and probably in our old computer, I'm not sure it would have supported. I think probably I wouldn't be. I'd probably be an astronaut. You know, I'm sure the Hooke's law that was giving me all the problems and all the electronics challenges would have been quite a breeze. Thank you very much, Mr. Olabode. That was quite eye-opening even for myself. Once again, thank you very much. So great. As I said, we had 3 exciting speakers, and we are moving on to the next session. And I just want to remind our live audience who are watching this via YouTube, keep your questions coming. We will be passing some of these questions to the speakers, the moderators who are on this call, Mr. Olabode, Mr. Irene, and the next speaker, who I'm going to keep it a secret for now. So keep your questions coming. We will bring them towards the end of the session in the Q&A session. We will try our best to address them in the chat, in the Google chat, but if it's not possible, we will actually give it to the horse's mouth. I, for one, I know I have a question that I'm going to ask Olabode how to use Hooke's law in a gamified environment. So next up, we are going down south, and we have a very exciting speaker. Our next speaker is called Deborah Hayward. She is a grade 4 teacher at Oak Hill School in Knysna in the Western Cape of South Africa. I know I had to pause there for a bit to get it right. I know the Western Cape, I can get confused with Cape Town, and we know what's made in Cape Town, you know. But without convoluting my introduction, Deborah Hayward is a grade 4 teacher at Oak Hill School in Knysna from Western Cape in South Africa, and she has over 10 years experience teaching. She has a passion for mathematics, having taught mathematics for a majority of her career, and is also motivated to leverage all things digital to enhance her student engagement. And she will be showing us today. You know, when I was reading Deborah's bio, I got tongue-tied in this part. So I'm just going to go back again. She has a passion and majority of her teacher is also motivated to leverage all things digital to enhance student engagement, with a focus on neurodiversity and learning barriers. You know, that neurodiversity, I've never heard of it, but I can't wait to hear what Deborah will tell us it is. The closest I've had anything that has a neuro is when I read Ben Carson's book, Think Big, that has a neurosurgeon. That's closest, so I can't wait to see what she's gonna bring about neurodiversity and learning barriers. She is a certified Google educator level 1 and level 2, and she'll be taking us through a very exciting gamification environment and demo, and I can't wait to hear. Deborah, take it away. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Oscar. Thank you for the warm welcome, and it's really great to be here. That's right. Today, I'm going to be talking about gamification in the classroom, and I'm really passionate about leveraging everything digital, anything digital that I can to meet the children's learning space, those students in my classroom. So I'm going to start off with this. I'm showing my age now, but In my day, when the teachers would roll in a television and the video or the board games, I knew that my learning was going to be a little different, that it was going to be exciting. But I was learning differently. And while I was playing these games or watching these videos, I was learning whilst having fun, and I didn't know I was learning. And that's what gamification on devices does today. So if we look at what gamification in the classroom can be used for, it can be used to scaffold and support in a number of ways. It can scaffold and support skills practice. You can bring in extension activities. It can be used for remediation of students that need that little bit of extra when it comes to skills, of the uploading of skills. It can be used for differentiation. It's a big word in education at the moment. It can be used for retrieval practice, the idea of bringing skills that they learned last year or at the beginning of the year back spiraled into the content that they're using at the moment. It can be used to pre-teach skills. In other words, you can start giving students a little bit of information on the content that you're going to teach in the near future. So they have schema that they can start building their learning on when you bring that content into the classroom. And you can use it to reteach skills as well. You know, you need a little bit of polishing here and there. We're going to reteach this again, and we're going to practice it again. And that takes you back into that skills practice and retrieval practice loop. But also, the most exciting for me is it can be used for assessment. So as you heard earlier from the speakers, you can take the results of the content that you've put into these games, pull it out as a report, and you can use it as a real assessment for their assessment run, for their reports, or for the term. It's really exciting. So how does gamification help you as an educator? Well, straight off, it increases student engagement. Your children are they're in it and they're in it to win it. It enhances their focus and motivation, and with that motivation comes an openness to learn. But importantly, it also puts students into a space where they can try, fail, and explore in their learning, because our best learning happens when we go into that risk space, where we start making mistakes, where we try new things, and where, you know, we can explore what we're good at. And importantly, it can be used as a tool, especially in the blended teaching model, to free teachers up. So you can have 80-90% of your class on these games, and you can have a core group of students where you can give them that more individualized attention to help scaffold the skills that they need. So learning is all about engagement. The right gamification can have a high level of meaningful engagement, and that engagement can be really meaningful when the teacher can control the content that can go into those games. 2 of the games that I use in my classroom for mathematics and English allows me to literally take levels of content that I'm teaching right now in my classroom and put it into the game. So all of a sudden, they're not just being busy, they're meaningfully busy, they're meaningfully engaged in their learning. So these are 2 of 3 of the gaming type sites that I use in my classroom at the moment. They are free. They are free to the end user, which is fantastic. I use a maths game called the Prodigy maths game, which I'm going to demo for you shortly. I also use an English comprehension and language skills game, which is called Dreamscape Squiggle Park, which again, the children play. They can build cities, and the only way they can get materials to build cities is to answer English language and comprehension questions. And I also use code.org for coding in my NST classes. But the beauty of all of this, apart from them being free, is that they have the magic sign in with Google button. So we don't need to have the children remembering various usernames, passwords, login, email addresses. They can press this magic button and boom, they're in the game. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the game it's the Maths Prodigy game that I use. Ordinarily, the students in my class would press this magic Google button, but I can't because it's going to take you through to my teacher account. So here's the username and password of the game, and here we go. So we're logging in. You can see the graphics that we saw in that login page. They're very crisp, they're very engaging. It's quite a visual game. It's a role player game. You play with your classmates. And there's some magic in this game. You can see, am I a new teacher? Here's my little avatar. I've made it look like me. They're completely customizable.
Are you playing from home or from school?
So the game reads to the students, which is fantastic. We're going to come to that now. So I've clicked from school. And how this game works is you are going to battle a wizard using spells. The only way to improve your spells or to battle that wizard is to answer maths questions, which the teacher has loaded in. It's easy to follow. There's always guiding on the screen. The graphics are great, nice and bright, very visual, very engaging. And here's the magic. So the questions come up onto the screen. Some of them are multiple choice. Some of them are answers that you have to do. You choose a spell. And here is my question. So I've put some grade 7 content in here. You can see what the interface looks like. Here's my question. Here's my answers. Here's a light bulb of help. If I get a little bit stuck, there's some help there. Visually, there's some manipulatives that I can use. There's some counters that I can put into my workspace. There's some base blocks that I can use, hundreds, tens, ones, these manipulatives that we would use normally in class. Fractions, some fractions blocks to pull in. You can compare the sizes. There's a calculator for those really tricky questions. And also quite excitingly, there's a writing function where you can write on here either with your mouse pad, a stylus if you have it, or if you have a touchscreen, you can use your finger. But what's really great about this game is it has a read aloud function. So it will read the question to the students. This is fantastic for younger students that are playing the game. The content goes from grade 1 to grade 8. So those little grade 1s who can't unpack these words, they can really get into the game. It's also great for learners who present with learning barriers such as dyslexia. They have fair access to the game because the question is read out loud to them. So what you do is you choose an answer, cast a spell. Wow, I got it right. Fantastic. Here we go. Great gratification. And there happens the spell. So the gamification part of this is highly engaging. But what the magic is behind this game is the following. When you look at the teacher space, you can see that you come straight into the driving as such behind it. There's a dashboard. This is the classroom I'm using currently with my students, but so I can't go into there because of privacy. But here is a classroom I created earlier. So what you can do with this is you can see straight up who's doing what, where, and how they're doing. So at the moment, my students are currently working on Dart Relationships UK Year 4. This game has curriculum from 5 different countries. It's from the England, from the US, from Australia, from Canada, and from India. And I'll show you how we import that data now. But what's really great about this game is that it has an adaptive algorithm that will detect students' areas of weaknesses and strengths. And it's intuitive enough to either scaffold them if they need a little bit of help or push them up another level if they need a bit of extension. So everybody's getting what they need personally. So let's show you how it works. I'm going to click on assessments. I'm going to create some content. You can see here is my monthly calendar view. I click create. And because I want to specifically target a set of skills, I'm going to set an assignment. And here you will see the grades that I can pull from, grade 1 to 8, and the different curriculum that I have at my hands. Isn't that amazing? There's the Australian curriculum. There's curriculum from England. There's curriculum from the US. Everything that you need is there. So I'm going to put some grade 4 content in, and I'm going to use, for example, I don't know, let's pick the Australian curriculum today. And I'm going to go back to grade 4, and I'm going to pick up, let's see what we've got. Let's have some addition to 1000. I'm going to have some addition word problems. And you can see when you press on the little eyeball, what type of level of question you're going to get. You can look at it, you say, right, is this type of question, is it good enough for the level I'm teaching at the moment? If it's too hard, I can go down to year 3. Or if it's not hard enough, I can pop up to year 5 and look for the skill that works best for my class. So if I go back to year 4, I can say, right, I'm going to do this addition to 1000 Here, that's what I'm choosing, and I click next. I can set anywhere up to 25 questions. Yep, we're going to hit this hard. We're going to do 25, and I'm going to call it addition. So what I can do here is the differentiation can happen quite easily. I can either give it to my entire class, or I can set this up to target specific students. So if when I'm walking around class and I pick up that, oh, this 8 times table here isn't so great, I must remember in the next Prodigy session to set Johnny some 8 times table work. So for now, I'm going to set it to all my students. I'm going to click next, and it gives me the start and end date. So I'm going to start today, which is the 19th, and I want them to finish this next week, Friday. So there it is. You can enter the curriculum at the touch of a button. It is as easy as that. You can differentiate, you can target specific skills, you can pre-teach. You can see here I've put in time. I'm going to start teaching grade 4 time shortly. So I've started dropping little bits of time theory into it. So when I start next week or the week after, the children have some sort of base, some sort of schema around what it is that they're learning. So again, fantastic game, really meaningful engagement. The teacher can really get to grips with the content that they put in there as well. So that's how I'm using gamification in my classroom. It brings about the engagement and it makes learning fun. So that's all from me. Oscar, I'm going to hand back over to you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Deborah. That was quite fascinating. I almost, for a moment, got lost. I'm like, whoa. Is that a classroom environment? And I'm like, whoa. I think it's a very interesting time to be an educator. I can imagine, just speaking from seeing what everybody is doing here with all the different kinds of tools, with different kinds of ways you can, keep your learners engaged. And some of us who are very naughty and in the back, sitting in the back bench, we probably would be paying much more attention. As I say, I would probably be an astronaut or a neuroscientist if I was studying in this field. Very exciting. Thank you very much, Deborah. As we said, I think this has been a very exciting session for me. I'm very, very excited. We're going to be bringing back everybody who's been backstage, our current facilitators and educators, Irene, Deborah, and Olabode. And we have some very exciting questions that have already been coming from the audience. So I'm going to just be pushing them to everybody here. I think we can also bring Lisa. Lisa has been doing a great job moderating the questions. She'll be posting some of those questions, and I will also be posting some questions of that some people have sent to us. So question number 1, we'll push straight to Lisa. We have a question about somebody who said, how is a pin generated? I think it's very easy. Sometimes we see some of these things as doing them as educators who we've gotten used to doing this thing. They look so easy. They look so quite easy, but not everybody sees it that way. So how is a pin generated? Irene, would you want to take that? And I think we'll just go through this, everybody. I also saw in Olabode's quizzes, there's a pin generated. We want to see, where is it coming from? Is it dropping from the sky? Please walk us slowly there. Irene.
The Kahoot game pin is automatically generated by the application.
Automatically, when I go to Kahoot, I think when you are playing, you go to a link called kahoot.it, and the pin is generated.
Yes. Automatically.
Right. Irene, sorry, can I ask, Irene, what do you have to do to actually start the game as the teacher?
As the teacher, you have to prepare the Kahoot beforehand. And once your Kahoot is ready, you assign, if you want it as homework, but if you want it as a lesson, a virtual lesson, you actually ask the children to have their Kahoot game pin screen on their phones, so that you can present using your screen for them to see the questions, but they answer on the phone.
Okay. I think that will help some of the teachers, yes.
I think, Irene, we'll circle back to you. If you could be kind enough to just generate a random Kahoot as we get back to you, as we go back to Labode. We just see how you will create one on the fly, and we see the pin. Even if it just has one very bad question, we will excuse you as we go back to Labode. You don't mind? Olabode, how is a pin generated in quizzes?
Okay, that's a good question. To generate code in a quizzes, what you need to do is once you log in to your environment as a teacher or even as a student, once you click on any question or prepare there or you prepare your own. If you want to make people to join you as a live quiz, immediately you click on it, it's going to generate a code which is like an identity for people to join you. Immediately you click on it to assign, and they will see the pop-up on your screen showing you the code that has been generated for that very question in time. Playing the other time, and another time when you want to play it, the code will change because it's random. It will generate that for that so that people can have that identity to join you. And on the student interface that I showed the other time, you can see where you just enter the code so that everybody can be on the same page. That's why the code is generated for every question you click. Once you make it live, want to play it live, you generate the code or the link so that people can join.
Olabode, I'm going to also circle back to you as if you don't mind just opening a quick to show us a demo for that. Would appreciate. Okay. As you do that, and Irene, I'm going to circle back to Deborah and just throw in a question myself. When you guys are ready, I think you put up your screen and we'll get back to you. So Deborah, I saw you use very sophisticated software. It's called Prodigy, right?
Yes.
You know, these are big words for some of us. The only word I know is that comes close to that is pedagogy. I always make fun. You know, that's the pet peeve of every teacher. If you want to know what makes a teacher, they know what pedagogy is. Never mind, I don't know what it is. But is that Prodigy a very expensive software? I'm sure that's a question everybody has on their mind. What does it cost? Does it come free? Or what we need to do as a school, as a teacher, can I get it by myself, or do I need the school to get it?
So this game is absolutely free. It's absolutely free. I only use free things in my classroom. Prodigy is a game that's been made by teachers for teachers. It's free to the end user, which is teachers, the students that use it, and the parents at home as well. There is, if you would like your child or your students to have better outfits on their little avatar, their little guy that runs around the game, you can pay for a membership, but the membership, whether you have it or not, the engagement, the game, the content, the teacher access, nothing changes. Free is best. It's absolutely free.
Thank you. And I think we are ready to demo some exciting things about people asked how to generate a pin. Irene, are you ready? Please show us how to play the good game. I think Irene's screen is a bit pixelated.
You click on.
Irene, your screen was a bit off. If you don't mind, let's jump to Olabode, sorry, as you check if your screen is eating some rice. Olabode, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Sure. Show us how to generate a pin. That was, and specifically, someone has a very good question about not only generating a pin, but how can I integrate a chemistry class? Oh my God, I remember mole concept. Please, Olabode, you are to task about that.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to show you first how to generate a code for equation. So for example, I'm teaching physics. As you can see, because my classes are physics classes, I have recommended topics or questions for me. Let me pick this first question. Once I pick on that question here, I have the option to either play it live or assign it in classroom as homework. From here, I want to play it live. Click on Start a Live Quiz. You can pick any either instructor pace or classic. Let me pick classic so that the student can move at their own pace. Here, since if I want to generate code, I just go, you see this button up above these three icons, team, classic, and test. But I'm selecting this classic where the student can participate at their own pace. Click on continue. Once I hit that continue button, it will generate the code automatically. You can see the code here now.
Thank you. Thank you. So that's the code I'll join using that, joinmyquiz.com, enter that code, and I'll be able to play.
Yes, what you see, the person to join this quiz will just type in this into the address bar and join it. Once you join it and type it there, the student page will run up like this. Let me show you on the student page. From here, this is what you're going to see, the home page you are going to join. Type in the code and click on join. It takes you to the question or the quiz that I just posted. That's all right. Or you can share the link from here. Go share the link. Click on share the link, which you can send it to the person, whoever wants to join the quiz. The next question, let me answer that. I want to use a fresh account to show you how to integrate your class into Google environment, into Quizzes environment. Let me log in with it from this and use a different account. Once I log off here, I can now enter, just sign in as a teacher, just sign up here, or I go down and say start, anywhere you wish to join from. Start, get started. From once you click the get started, I prefer using, because all my classroom are in Google environment, I prefer using sign up with Google. Because you can even type your email address to start up if you want, but I prefer using sign up because all my accounts are in Google environment. It's going to show me all my accounts. Take for example, I want to use this one. From here, it's going to bring up the way I'm going to, this is a student account here. Or let me change also, I can change to the one with teacher's account from there. Let me show you that one.
Okay, while you're busy, can I ask you something just for some of our new teachers? Okay. I see these other quizzes there. Does that mean that as a teacher who is new to this, I don't necessarily have to make my own one every time? Are there other ones that are pre-made that I can use?
Yeah. Yes, very well. And that's why there are thousands of questions already in that environment, thousands, and which is being done. You have to select, maybe you want to use as a school, and you must select option as a teacher, because when you select as a student, you cannot revert back to teacher. But if you select as a teacher, you can easily revert back to students. Now I'm picking here. This is a fresh environment. You can see already made questions, lots of them under different subjects. Lots of questions that are pre-made different topics. And it's being updated daily. Like the one I've done now, join those we have here. If I now want to get a class, let me take, for example, I want to assign this question that is already prepared. I want to assign to my class. How do I do that? Just once I click assign homework. If I click assign homework here, because I don't have a classroom here, I'll put expire, maybe the due date. I put the due date.
Mr. Olabode, I think I'm going to let you just continue with this. We have a couple of other exciting questions, and I know you are very passionate about this. We need to run through some other very many questions that people are throwing at us. So you just keep doing whatever you're doing as it runs on the screen as we get into some other exciting questions that are coming. So I have two more questions that are coming before we circle back on Irene to show us how to do that. Someone has a very exciting question. I'll send this back to you. The subject of gamification is wide and therefore can be exhausting this webinar. Do you have any resources or study materials that you can throw at people? And I know there's a huge push in the education sector around gamification. And I'll put it twofold. And do you have suggestions for high schoolers for learning games? I know people. I think your game wasn't very. It looked like it was for lower classes, but people may have misconstrued that. Is it? Can it be adopted for higher learners like high school and things like that? Deborah.
So yes, so the two games that I use, Prodigy and Dreamscape, they do have curriculum that reaches up to the first level of high school. Yes, the Prodigy game interface does look very basic, more for lower learners, but when you go into Dreamscape Squiggle Park, it looks a little bit more for the older learners. It takes on a look more on Clash of Clans, which is an online mobile game that the children play at the moment where you build a town, but it has little characters in as opposed to real people. So it does reach up into the first level, first year, or possibly 2 years of high school, but not beyond that, I'm afraid. And I haven't seen anything for high school that engages like this in what I've been teaching. Sorry.
Okay, thank you, Debbie. Irene, I think we'll just wind up with you unless Lisa has some more exciting questions. I should hope you're ready. We just needed to quickly run through you about joining a Kahoot, generating a pin, and integrating it quickly before I hand over to Lisa for any other questions. Irene.
So once you create your own Kahoots, you can choose either to use one that has already been prepared by other teachers. They're generous, some share, when they make it public. However, once it is ready, then I hope my screen is shared. I wanted to show how to yes, you click on Classic. And it's automatic.
Your screen
just the thing.
Your screen
You
is
can
not
share
very
anyone
clear.
around.
Unfortunately, your screen hasn't been very clear. I think probably something has eaten some wires. We may just have to send additional resources to that teacher with time. But I think we get it. And the good thing, this video is recorded, and some of the moderators here would be kind to share more additional resources through any of our partners. If you have a question that is nagging, you can always put it to the Cloud EDU team from South Africa. They'll be glad to share some exciting resources from their educators. I think Lisa will be glad to put a contact email. You can reach out to them. If you have a nagging question as well for Olabode and anybody in Nigeria, generally any teacher moderator who has had and you feel that you want to learn some more, you can always reach out to anybody from the partners, our Google Cloud partners here. We'd be glad to try to talk to them nicely, of course, and if they would oblige, they would give us some resources and we'd be happy to share with you. You know, these are teachers who are dedicating a huge amount of their time to not only teach, but also understand technology, but they get paid one salary. So we can understand if they tell us, hey, no, we're not going to give it to you. I'm not going to be pissed off at them. So it's okay on Abu Dhabi if you refuse to give me some more resources, but we can ask nicely. That's the best we can do. I think this has been a very exciting session, and it unfortunately is at the end for this particular year. We have one more session that we'll be sharing in the coming year in February, so make sure to keep tuned. Just want to remind everybody again, all these sessions are recorded on Google's YouTube, on Digital Skills for Africa Google channel. You can always go back to them. And I was getting a question from somebody, and I remember there was a similar thing. We talked about sites and making these very exciting learning scenario engagement. So if you think about it, we've really been able to create a very exciting library for not only the teachers who tune in live, but only any other teachers who will come in on time in future to try and understand how they can leverage different tools in technology to keep it learning. So please, if you missed a session and you feel like you didn't catch up with something before you throw a question, all these recordings are on the Google Digital for Skills Africa link. I think Lisa will be happy to post the YouTube channel for everybody listening in. But from us, we really appreciate all the teachers who've taken time to do this. Deborah, Irene, and Olabode, and everybody working in the backend. I know lots of work goes in the backend from the Google side, Adiola, and then from all the other partners involved. Thank you very much. And I would like to end this right on the hour. Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody, and enjoy your evening.